If I could describe the Get My Life tour in one word, it would be vulnerability. Showing up for yourself is so important. Welcome to the Get My Life tour. I'm your host, Lydia T. Blanco. Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Get My Life tour. Oh my goodness. Season 3. Season 3. Oh my goodness, it is season 3. We made it. We can officially say that we made it. Oh my goodness. Doesn't it feel good? I feel like there's something so glorious about this new season, about 2021, okay? I really am celebrating the fact that we have made it. I am so glad that you are here, that you have a breath, that you are alive and well. And we just gonna claim thriving as well. Welcome back to the Get My Life tour. It is me, your host, Lydia T. Blanco. And as always, I'm hype because you decided to show up for yourself, to practice vulnerability, and to be who you are. Unapologetically. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for going hard with me for 3 seasons. Oh, it has been good. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the center stage. And thank you for being here. I don't take 3 seasons of podcasting lightly, right? We know the numbers are different for Black and brown people in this space, and we're here, we're being heard, and it's great. And I think now more than ever, people are paying more attention to the things that we have been saying for so long. But I'm so grateful, right, for your listenership, for the relationship and the community we've been able to establish here. So thank you so much for tuning in internationally, across continents, in various cities and states and townships and wherever it is that you be. Thank you for being here on tour with me. I feel like I could go on and on with gratitude and elations, but you know what? It's a new year. Okay, I've already said that we've made it, and I really feel like it's only right that while we come out the gate swinging, that we take our time. There was something that I saw on the internet about 2021, and someone had written in the meme like, walk slowly, don't touch anything, and a couple of other things I can't remember. But I was like, yo, that's really good. We all know what happened in 2020. But I think it's important not to live there. Is it okay to reflect and go back and be mindful of your experience? Absolutely. But it's like we're starting all over again. We're starting back at one. Like, everyone was so hype about 2020 and the new decade and yada, yada, yada. But I really feel like 2021 is that real transition in. Like, we are now in 2020. That may sound so crazy to you. It sounded a little odd coming out my mouth as well, but we are really here. And gratitude is one of the words that's coming to my mind right now, because how dare we not be grateful, right? In spite of everything else, how dare we not be grateful? And we are the ones who've made it. With that being said, I also believe that we are the ones that we are waiting for. That is not an original thought. And the reason why I say that is because people have also been shouting that from the mountaintop. But I think it takes on new meaning and new form, especially since we have literally made it out of so much. And I know we're still sheltered in place, and there's so much going on with this political shift and everything that you may be encountering in private and personally. but we made it. And it is important that we take our time, but I think it's also fair to come out swinging, right? And I say that because, last year was a year, we know that, okay? And we only a good number of days out, right? But I say that to remind myself and others that we can revert back to where we were mentally if we don't come out of that place. And that's what I mean when I say come out swinging, right? Not necessarily that you like just hitting anybody that walks near you, running up on people, but that confidence, that oomph, right? I often talk about being in hiding and coming out of that. And honestly, a lot of what you're going to see from me this season in life, right? This season here on the Get My Life Tour is me being who I am, fearlessly, authentically. And have you gotten those things? Yes. But I really feel like it's time for me to come out swinging, right? Let me just say this. When I first started the podcast, I noticed myself being a little mic shy. And there were moments where I was so enthralled by, the powerful things that people were sharing here on this platform. And I'm extremely grateful for that. But what I noted is that I was reverting back to some of those old habits in my interviewing style. And you may not have been able to pick up on that as a listener if you've tuned into the past 2 seasons, but it's something that I had to note. I was like, Lydia, you too are an expert of your experience. This is your platform, right? This platform is as great as you will allow. And there's an anointing, So take ownership of that, right? Coming out the gate, owning it. I remember, oh my gosh, so many times where I was lost for words. And those were genuine moments. And then there was an instance when I was recording episodes, for season 3. And I was like, Lydia, hello, say what you want to say. It is okay to interject and agree. And you don't have to apologize for that. This is why I really value this tour, right? Being in community, being in conversation, but also having the opportunity to meet myself here and to continuously come home to myself and get reacquainted and take inventory and reorganize and declutter and, really pay attention to how it is that I'm showing up. Okay, so I have been watching a lot of comedy specials during this pandemic just to get through, okay? Look, I need a good laugh here and there. I have not Googled many corny jokes to pick up lines, but I have made it my business to laugh, to be intentional about joy. And one of the things that I look forward to when watching these comedy specials is how the host comes out and then how each and every comedic act comes out. And it's so interesting to me because everyone has their own style, right? I was watching Boogie Cousins' comedy special and Mike Epps was the host. And he came out very Mike Epps-ish. And he just took up so much space. He used all of the space on the stage, pacing back and forth, going from side to side. He was so grand and he had this large presence. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is how I need to occupy the stages in my life. Okay. That is how we have to show up, taking up space. And I know there's a different conversation about taking up space, as it relates, to different environments and things of that nature. But no, I think taking up space in ourselves is so important. Leave some room for the Most High, of course. But what I'm saying is that we have to meet ourselves with that same enthusiasm We have to meet ourselves with that same enthusiasm and vitality, right? And what's interesting to me as well is that oftentimes we show up as hosts for others. So we can't wait to introduce the next act. We hyping them up, giving them credit, rattling off their accolades and this and that. And they come out and everyone's ready to receive them. Imagine doing that for yourself. I have walked around with these invisible pom-poms for years, being everyone else's cheerleader. And I tell people all the time, I'm everyone's unsolicited cheerleader. I'm like, okay, how has that become one of my taglines? But I'm like, okay, that's also how it showed up. I also know that is one of the ways that I have been most disappointed. Rooting for people who do not care, who do not reciprocate that kind of cheerleading, and who, quite frankly, is like, okay, and, I'm just like, not this time around, okay? Let me tell you something. I'm retiring the pom-poms, and it will be coming out of retirement on special and select occasions, okay? Because everybody doesn't deserve it. We have to go hard for ourselves. That's what I'm saying. Come out the gate swinging. Like, do what you would do for others for yourself in this season. The same way that you go out and, put somebody else on or big somebody else's name up and, go hard for them, right? The same way you may shoot someone else a referral, refer yourself, okay? Put yourself out there. Half the time it seems like we're doper than those that we are referring, right? Or we are deferring from putting ourselves out there because we're afraid of our own potential. Not this season, Slim. Can't be me. I hope it's not you either, because there's so much out there to be gained. Okay. I've made it my intention to not talk about New Year's resolutions and this and that. This is not what this Stop on the Tour is about. But what I will say is that you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to use all of the room on the stage. Why not? Why not? There's so much to look forward to in spite of, or despite of, the political climate and everything else that everyone has been talking about for 2020. I don't even want to use the word uncertainty and unprecedented times. And we know those things to be true, right? But how you show up for yourself in this season, I really feel like is going to set the standard for however long. I don't want to come off as someone who is, forecasting or prophesying or any of those things. And I don't think anything is wrong with that. That's just not who I am. But I do want to speak life. And a part of that is being confident in who you are, in your abilities, and knowing that you are deserving and you are worthy. You deserve great things happening to you. You deserve to experience great things. And that starts with the mindset shift, right? Trust me, I too have struggled so much coming out of different seasons, out of 2020, but I had to make a decision. And I was like, you know what? I can either come out swinging or I could play it cool like I always have and not receive what's for me. I really don't have time for that. It's important to be mindful of what we have an abundance of. I posted not too long ago, maybe a couple of days ago, that you are the abundance, right? I believe that we are. And it is going to be important to remember that as the months come and go, we don't know what tomorrow holds and, what things are going to look like and what outside is going to look like when it opens up. But I believe if we are a steward of our time, our attention, we focus on what focuses on us, that we will come out on top. I heard someone say, we're already winning. That person also talked about the reason why they don't gamble, and it's because they don't have to convince someone that they are already winning, right? They don't even have to invest in a way that suggests that they need to win because they are already winning. And I was like, whoa, what? This is good. And it was actually, in full transparency, a pimp who had shared this information. Now, this may be hard for you to receive, and I understand why, because of who the information is coming from and then me sharing it. But it was on the YouTube channel, Soft White Underbelly. Really great storytelling and content. But this man had shared that information. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to convince anyone that I need to win in this season. Okay. I don't even want anyone to get the impression that I need to invest a certain way to win. Now, I'm not talking about financially. Listen, I'm talking about on a deeper level, because some people will pick at your potential and they will convince you, look, for this, I can get you X, Y, or Z. And I believe it happens in so many ways, shapes, and forms, right? So many things in life take form. And when we're not mindful of that, we begin to waver. We begin to negotiate when that is unnecessary. And we will do anything to win when we're already winning. But someone else is willing to come in and, appraise what you got going on, not fully understanding your worth, or because they do fully understand your worth, but you don't. Okay? Look. So, I want to share that affirmation with you because I am honestly taking that. Yes. And from that person, absolutely. Because information is information. And how you apply it is your business. How you live your life is your business, right? You are already winning. I am already winning. Something else that is really weighing on me to share with you as we enter this new season is that no one can outdo you being who you are. You've probably heard that before. Heck, I've probably said it before. But I really feel like it's necessary because there's so many people who are innovating and creating and ideating during this season. And we all know that New Year's are synonymous with fresh starts. And one of the reasons why I say focus on what's focusing on you is because it's so easy to look to your left and your right and become discouraged because someone may have had a similar idea. Someone may have started something similar to what it was that you wanted to do for however long and you have yet to do it. But just remember that no one can outdo you being who you are, right? And keep that at the front of your mind, okay? Because there's so much going on around us. But I feel like some people are going to be thrown off their game early on if they're focusing on what someone else is doing. Do you, okay? I don't know who the first Black person was to say that. Do you, boo-boo, whatever, that. Do you, okay? And make sure that you truly focus on what focuses on you. Look, I made some investments and I didn't get every return on my investment. But what I really learned is that what I desire desires me. What is for me is for me. And look, if it ain't, it's not my problem. It's really none of my business. But you can't make it your business, because that's when you lose. That's when you don't receive the return on investment. So focus on what focuses on you. Know that what you desires you. And no one can outdo you being who you are. I really didn't anticipate this episode being filled with affirmations. But if that's what you gather from this stop on a tour, then that is excellent. One of the last things that I do want to share as we talk about coming out the gate swinging, or just taking up space, or using all of the space on the stage, is to let people know who you are. And I spoke about that in the second season of here on the Get My Life tour, but I really feel like some people need to be reminded. Or maybe you didn't say it loud enough, or you didn't tell the right people, but you have to let people know who you are each and every time that you show up. And it doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be aggressive. It doesn't even have to be extremely firm. But there should be something in your being who communicates who you are each and every time that you show up. And do so with grace, right? There are some people who have their own approaches to life, and at times they are very off-putting. But it is important to let people know who you are. I had written down the other day, and I will share this with you. Just because I'm modest does not mean that you are on my level. And when I wrote it down and shared it with, my loved ones, they were like, wow. And I was like, you know what? I really needed that word, because there are a number of people who look to see what it is that I'm doing, who am I doing it with, or I'm doing that, whether it's in Harlem or in the Bay or wherever it is that I may be. And they are using this false measuring, or as an accurate measuring stick. And I'm just like, whoa, I'm really taken aback. And I really feel sorry for people who think that they are on my level. And as arrogant as that may sound, it is the truth of the matter. And I probably have had moments where I have misinterpreted my level of mastery or knowledge, or whatever the case may be, inaccurately against someone else because of what I may have been experiencing, or my own insecurity. And I think a lot of us have been there. You know what I'm saying? Just like, ooh, yeah, because I know. And do not misinterpret that this season. Do your best not to. Let me say it that way. Do your best not to misinterpret, you being on someone else's level, or they're being on yours. A lot of people equate that to dollar amounts or expertise or whatever it is that they are, associating that with. But you got to know that you know your value, that you are worthy, and that how you show up isn't, or how people perceive how you show up is not your reality. And that's what I mean, right? Don't confuse my modesty for my mastery, right? My experience here on earth, right? As a spiritual being having a human experience, my expertise professionally, so many things. Okay. People get that misconstrued all the time. And I'm like, look, check this out. I'm modest. I will own it. I am sometimes a bit too modest, and I have been told that. And I'm unlearning a lot of that, right? But that is how I believe that I needed to show up. But look, I can't take center stage in my life and not take up all of the space. We talk about being center stage, but right now, look, I need you to use every inch of the stage the same way that these artists do when they're performing in concert or at award shows. Look, I don't know what your stage looks like. I don't know the dimensions, where it's positioned, what arena or front yard, backyard, the house, a closet. I don't know where your stage is. But as you approach the mic, do not be modest. You have to show up the way you need you to show up. And everyone else who's in the audience, who's backstage, who is there for you will appreciate that. Before I get into the mic drop moment, I just have to say that season 3 is about to be it. Okay, mark my words. I have really made it a priority to tap the brightest, the most brilliant, and the most willing individuals to take center stage this season. And yes, as I mentioned in season 2 and alluded to in the first season of the Get My Life tour, men will be on tour taking center stage with me this season. Look, the fellas are coming. They are coming hard. And I'm so grateful for the conversations and the opportunity to be in community with these men the way that I am. And I'm looking forward to sharing, oh my gosh, sharing deeply, sharing intimately things that I have, gained and have gotten along my journey. And I cannot wait. Okay. The next stop on this tour, all I'm going to say is just be ready. Be ready. Okay. I cannot wait to share. Oh my gosh. I'm so hyped. Y'all probably like, Lydia, just get to it. Well, you're just going to have to wait till next week. Okay. Look, the Get My Life tour is such a blessing to me. And I'm so glad that it's able to be that to you as well. And before I go on and on, let me drop the mic. Okay. So my mic drop moment is simple. Show up the way you've always desired to show up. You deserve that. And I believe that is what the world is waiting for you to do. As always, I am so just grateful. I was looking for another word, but I'm really so grateful that you continue to show up and are on tour. As always, look, if you want to stay connected with the Get My Life tour, visit thegetmylifetour.com. Subscribe to the newsletter. Why? Because I will be in your inbox soon. Yes, there is merchandise. There are t-shirts. The Get My Life tour tee is online. You can go to thegetmylifetour.com/merch and you will be directed to the online store where you can purchase a t-shirt that says "How you live your life is your business." It is a mantra of mine in life. It is one of the ways that I describe being on tour and the Get My Life tour. Be sure to connect on social. Follow at the Get My Life tour on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. There's even a LinkedIn page that I never used to plug, but I do actively post on LinkedIn. It is a space where people, can commune as well. And then, of course, be sure to like, subscribe, download, and review these episodes. I want to hear from you all. It's not enough to just speak into a microphone or have phenomenal conversations with people. I want to know how this content is reaching and teaching and transforming. So I want to hear from you. If you have any suggestions about who should be on the Get My Life tour, if you want to pitch someone, be sure to email me at joinme@thegetmylifetour. There is also a submission form on thegetmylifetour.com. So actually fill that out. But I want to hear from you. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, email me. And as always, if you'd like to stay connected with me personally as I share my journalistic endeavors and my lifestyle content, Connect with me on social at Lydia T Blanco on Instagram, Twitter, and check out my website. My website, LydiaTBlanco.com. Look, it has been real. I wish I had more bells and whistles to kick off season 3, but I'm glad you are back. And like I said, get ready because season 3 is going to be unmatched. Until the next time, it has been real. Peace.